Ever since Gordon, James and Henry had gone on strike, the fact director shut them up in the shed and gave Thomas, Edward and Percy, the newest engine at the time, the task of handling the NWR's workload.
Thomas and Edward will run the main line and Percy will handle the Ffarquhar branch line.
Percy was overjoyed.
This is going to be so fun! I've never ventured onto a branch line. All I've done since I got here is shunt. I know you must be excited, but you must remember to be patient and careful.
But Percy was too excited and eager to listen. Thomas, meanwhile, just stared at Percy with a worried look. The next morning, Percy hurried off to find Annie and Clarabelle. The two coaches were very surprised to see that the engine backing onto them was not Thomas.
Oh! Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to bump you two.
Who are you?
I'm Percy. I'm going to be your engine for today.
Where's Thomas?
He's a little busy, but don't worry. You two are in good buffers.
I hope so.
Get in quickly, please.
The people climbed in. The conductor jumped into Clarabelle, blew his whistle, and Percy started off. Percy raced along the line. He was having the time of his life.
Take your time, Percy. There's no hurry.
But Percy didn't hear his driver. He went so fast that he arrived at Knapford early and waited patiently for Edward. Minutes passed and Percy grew impatient. But soon Edward showed up.
Good morning, Edward. Good morning, Percy. How are you doing running the Ffarquhar branch line? Very well. I arrived about 20 minutes before you. Well, that's pretty early, Percy. Well, if I'm not on time or early, then I'm late. It's nice to know that you care about being on time, but speed is not above common sense and care. You know, passengers do not like being bounced about. Oh, don't worry, Edward. I'll be fine. Maybe don't start so... Oh dear.
When Percy arrived at Ffarquhar with his last train, he felt very pleased with himself. He had been on time, if not early, all day, and was looking forward to hearing the fat director's words of high praise. That was until furious passengers exited the coaches.
What a reckless idiot!
Huh?
Going at unnecessarily fast speeds, trying to be like Gordon? What is this, a racetrack? Honestly, why would Mr. Hat give this branch line to such an incompetent engine?
Oops.
When Percy came home that night, he found the fat director waiting for him. He did not look happy at all.
Percy, All day I have heard nothing but complaints from passengers. They say that they have never ridden behind a more careless engine. You have given my railway a bad reputation, and I cannot have that at all.
I'm sorry, sir.
You'll be shunting here until you learn to be more careful. Good night. This is why I was worried about you running my branch line. Honestly, how incautious are you?
Don't be so hypocritical. You were just like Percy when you were a pilot and when you started running your branch line. Sure, his first time running your branch did not go well, but how about this? If you, Percy, are willing to be patient, careful, and a good listener, then I am sure that you, Thomas, are willing to teach Percy how to run your branch line properly.
Thomas, realizing that Edward was right, stopped being cross and smiled instead.
I'll admit that I've made a few mistakes when I started running my branch line, but eventually I learned to settle down and be more patient. I'll help you, Percy.
Percy smiled warmly. After Edward had a word with the Fat Director the next day, the latter agreed to let Thomas take Percy under his wing.
Now, Percy, when it comes to handling coaches, you need to be careful not to bump them.
How's that?
Perfect! You're doing excellent already. Now, just take it easy and don't rush.
Got it. Thank you.
By the end of the day, Percy had run the Ffarquhar branch line like clockwork. Thomas, knowing that Percy was doing a superb job taking care of it, was no longer worried, because he knew that his branch line was in good buffers, and Percy's driver and the conductor promised to look after Annie and Clarabelle.
Hello, Thomas. How have things been going on the main line?
Things have been going very smoothly. I don't think Gordon, James and Henry will be on strike for much longer. Running the main line has been nice, but I would love to return to my branch line soon.
Well, there's no hurry. The passengers absolutely love me. I've been doing so well that they haven't noticed your absence. I guess you could say that I'm as good as you now.
Rubbish! You could never be as good as me.
You wish. Well, I must get going.
Wait, I haven't blown my whistle.
Well, okay. I'm almost as good as you.